Safe Routes to Schools program, which encourages walking and biking to school through education, enforcement, engineering, and evaluation. The current position is funded by a grant that expires after this year. Do you support a county-based Safe Routes to School position to coordinate safer streets for APS students? How would you encourage APS to improve their transportation demand management for staff and students?
So I know that there is a staff member at Arlington Transportation Partners who is focused on safe routes to school, getting more teachers and students to change their behaviors or consider changing their behaviors. So I'm not sure if that's the same position to which you are referring. If it is in jeopardy, I think it is a valuable position.
Yeah.
Okay, great, yes. So I do, I think that's an incredibly valuable position. And I think one of the things that ATP does pretty well is helping consider the actual obstacles in people's lived experiences to consider walking or biking. This is a real challenge when we think about, for example, the new HB Woodlawn program, which is an urban school in a way that our schools have not been previously. And so having a dedicated person with the expertise and the understanding of not just our transportation infrastructure, but the way that that impacts behavior and vice versa, I think is an important amount of expertise to bring to that conversation.
Yeah, Mike?
Well, I think safe routes to schools is very important because I think today, well, I know today, if you live a mile away from the school, you have to walk or either ride your bike. And in a lot of situations when you kids, well, that's right. So a lot of the kids in that situation, they don't have sidewalks to walk on to get to school. They'll have to walk in the street. I know because my son goes to HB Woodlawn that there's a street that he has to cross for vacation, and I've never understood why there isn't a crossing guard there. Because it's very dangerous. And I watch these kids every day try to maneuver that street, and it just is, it's not a very good situation. So we could do a better job in terms of crossing guards, ensuring the fact that neighborhoods put in sidewalks in this community, and then we would provide the ability for kids to a safe route to school.
Yes, as a matter of fact, this issue is closely tied to the fact that many of APS's buses are underutilized. I don't know the exact percentage, but I think it's a very significant percentage. Parents drive their kids to school because they claim it's not safe to get them to school any other way. And I think that safe routes to schools would give the lie to that argument. If APS could guarantee a safe walk to school for most students, most parents wouldn't have the argument that they need to drive their kids. And so I think that I definitely support that as part of that program, because I understand you cannot compel parents not to drive their kids to school. This has got to be a voluntary program. So we need to have an advertising campaign explaining why kids should walk to school, take their bike, or ride the bus. So that would be part of the program.
Yeah, Safe Routes to Schools is a well-functioning program. If funding puts it in jeopardy, it ought to be continued absolutely unequivocally. The second part of the question was about TDM with public schools, and this is a stick-to-your widget because I've been a part of several processes where schools have been renovated, and we've looked at parking and what we would do with teachers, and the recent Ashland School project also indicates this problem. In a community where a lot of teachers find it difficult to afford to live here, the fact is a lot of them drive, so there's a ceiling to what we can do in terms of providing incentives for them to take other ways to get to work. So we have to make sure our TDM plans actually mirror the economic realities as well as the reality of educators who often are bringing lots of materials in. And as we think about optimizing school space, getting teachers out of having permanent classrooms, that need may in fact grow. So we just have to do this very thoughtfully.